Welcome back to the Geterbrewed channel. So today I have the privilege of being joined by Philippe from Fermentis. This man has an incredible background in brewing, bioengineering, biochemistry, master brewer, built breweries, sold beer, sold hops, worked in new product development for all of those different industries, and he's now helping develop a new range, or continuously developing new ranges of products for Fermentis. So thank you so much for your time today.
Welcome.
You have been busy generating some really interesting new products at Fermentis. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the projects that are just finishing?
Sure, a new product is really motivating to me because I don't like routine.
Yeah.
And this is why I spent so many years in development and research, because I like very much to find some novelty, to find some things that may fill the gap, I would say, in terms of yeast collection, because today you know our collection and there are some gaps, so we like to fill the gap.
Yeah.
And then we have developed in the SafAle area, or let's say portfolio, 2 new products.
Yeah.
And the first one is the SafAle W-68. Probably you know that yeast. It's a very famous yeast coming from Stefan.
Yeah.
It's a German yeast that provide very nice flavor in terms of a fruity flavor, and it's more oriented in the banana area with the isoamylacetate. That is the esters, the main esters that is produced with this yeast. And so the level of phenols is as well relatively moderate compared to, for example, a WBO6, and the WBO6 has a higher level of 4VG, so vinyl guaiacol. This is a marker of the phenolic flavor of the beer due to the positive character of the yeast. So this one, W68, has an average production of phenols that allow the expression of the fruitiness and the fruity character of the beer to be more expressed in the beer. So it's a very nice yeast. The attenuation of this yeast is very average. It's around 83–84% based on the standard raw materials.
Yeah.
And this is one. And then we have another one. There's the SafAle BW-20.
Yeah.
And the BW-20 is more dedicated for Belgian wheat beer.
Okay.
The difference between, let's say, a Weizen beer and a wheat beer is the Weizen beer use malted wheat, wherein the Belgian wheat use unmalted wheat.
Okay, yeah.
And generally they use as well some spices. So we develop a yeast that allows to produce a beer with, let's say, not so intense aromatic fraction than the W68, but a lower level of fruitiness.
Yeah.
And as well, in terms of the phenols, we have an average level of phenols. So when the brewer wants to use and to play with some spices, it will automatically enhance and provide a nice flavor in the beer.
Yeah.
The attenuation is quite similar to the W68, and the main difference is in the fruity character.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's in the ale area, the SafAle area. And we have another one. Okay. We have in the lager area.
Yeah.
In the SafLager we have a new one, which is the SafLager E-30.
Yeah.
And E-30 is a very promising yeast as well, because generally speaking, and it's also to fill the gap, because if you look to our collection in the lager, there are some differences between the yeast, that's for sure. One is a little bit more fruity, the other one is a little bit more floral, and we have a neutral one with the W-3470.
Yeah.
So for sure. But basically, the aromatic fraction or the fruity character of all those 3 yeasts are basically in the same bracket, or very minor, let's say, variation between the yeast. And here we come with the SafLager E-30 that have a very high potential of esterification, which means that during the fermentation it will produce much more esters and gives a very fruitiness in the lager, which is quite new.
Yeah.
And I know that, for example, in big and key brewers such as Heineken.
Yeah.
They'd like to produce some fruitiness, and in all their process is based to have some isoamyl acetate as well. And so these yeast allow a very high level of isoamyl acetate for lager. So I want to make the distinction. If we compare, let's say, a lager with an ale,
Yeah.
so the level of ester produced with the lager is lower than the one that is produced with the ale.
Yeah.
So when I say that it's a higher level in ester, is compared with lager in the same frame.
Okay.
Of
Yeah.
in the same area, I would say.
Yeah. And one of the products that I seen a bit of excitement around was BR-8, which is a dried
Yeah.
bread. You know,
Challenging product.
Yeah.
Very challenging.
There's no one else has a product like that. That's the first ever, isn't it? From what I can see.
It's the first dry Brettanomyces
Yeah.
on the market, but Brettanomyces exists
Oh yes, it's been there for.
on a liquid form, huh?
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you know. And so, to be able to produce a Brettanomyces was challenging because of what?
Yeah.
Because the first aspect is the size of the microorganism. That's very small size.
Yeah.
It's much smaller than a yeast.
Yeah.
Than a yeast, I mean a Cerevisiae or a Pastorianus. It's much smaller. So it means that the equipment to produce it should be different.
Yeah.
So we produce in a different plant for that reason. Another aspect that is very critical as well is the resistance to temperature.
Yeah.
And this is much more sensitive to temperature.
Okay.
So, as you know, for the production of our yeast, we use some heat and some air that we heat to flow through this media, the cream that has been produced, to dry that cream,
Yeah.
or to dry at least the product. And to get a dry product, so we need energy.
Yeah.
And this energy is under the heat system. And so as the product is very sensitive to the thermal degradation,
Yeah.
it's a very challenging thing.
Yeah.
We don't need to burn all the things
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
drying. So it's a compromise between the, let's say, the heat, the temperature, and the residual amount of water. But if you keep too much water in the dry product, the product will not survive by the time.
Yeah.
And so
Shelf life.
it's a very, very, very tough things, very complicated. So it took us some years to develop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it works safely. It's non-sporulating. Is that correct today?
This is correct.
Yeah. It's interesting. What sort of time frame do you get those flavors coming through? Is it 3 months, 6 months? You know?
Yes. So this product is mainly used for re-fermentation
Yeah.
or bottle conditioning.
Yeah.
And so during this bottle conditioning, we can add some sugar if we use a very high attenuating yeast for the primary fermentation. But on the contrary, if we use, let's say, a yeast that does not attenuate
Yeah.
too much, we don't need to add sugar because of what? Because the Brettanomyces will consume, let's say, the maltotriose. And it's a maltotriose positive yeast that will consume this sugar by the time. And so the fermentation is very slow.
Yeah.
It's a very slow temperature. The pitching rate is between 5 and 10 grams per hectoliters.
Yeah.
And generally speaking, we have a temperature ranging between 20 25 degrees C, a normal temperature
Yeah.
for bottle conditioning. And during this period of time, let's say, we will have a degradation of the sugar, and on top of it, we will have a modification of the phenol character.
Yeah.
And so, in the malt, we have some precursor of the phenolic compounds. So we have the comaric and the ferulic acid. And
Yeah.
so this precursor can be used by yeast to produce vinyl phenols and vinyl guaiacols.
Yeah.
That's if we use a POF positive yeast strains.
Yeah.
This is fine. But if we use the Brettanomyces, we'll convert the vinyl phenols
Yes,
in
yeah.
ethyl phenols. And these ethyl phenols has a completely different perception and profile, because the vinyl is more smoky, is more like medicine or medical flavor. It could be clove-like as well. But here, by this conversion to the ethyl, we will go much more to the animal, to the leather, to the horsey character.
Yeah.
And that's provide this typical flavor of the Brettanomyces.
A typical
and
farm
this this flavor starts to appear after 1 month.
Okay.
But it's better after 3 months.
Yeah.
And the optimum is between 3 and 6 months. I would say even 6 months is better. But 3 months could be completely acceptable because the footprint of the Brettanomyces is there and it's present in the beer. So it's there.
Yeah, it's a style of beer that I really like. Is, you know, that wild and sour ale and sort of even mixed and spontaneous fermentation is something of a keen interest in.
Yeah, yeah.
And you have 2 new barrel-related soured products as well. Yeah. And did you work on those projects as well?
I was a little bit implicated, but with a panoramic view on it. But it was Evelyn that has been developing these products for the things for barrel aging, as we see here
in the
just
background.
behind it.
So there's a new product called LD-20. Tell us a little bit about that product.
So LD-20 is a mix. It's not a pure yeast. It's a mix of 2 different things. We combine a lager yeast strain, and so with an enzyme. This enzyme is an amyloglucosidase.
Okay.
So by you playing with those 2 elements, the amyloglucosidase will degrade all the sugars, all the dextrins, everything that is in the world into glucose.
Okay.
And the yeast will assimilate the glucose to produce alcohol and CO2.
Yeah.
So basically what we have, a very dry product that does not contain any residual sugar.
So no carbohydrates.
No carbohydrate. We can have a higher, let's say, higher alcohol level with the same gravity, or we can decide that we go for lower gravity to get the same level of alcohol.
Okay.
And then we reduce by 20% as well. The 20 means that we reduce by 20% the carbohydrate or the ethanol content to get, let's say, or the gravity to get the same alcohol level.
We had a lovely lunch, and it was nice to hear you talking about some of the projects you're working on. Unfortunately, the guys that are watching at home can't find out about that just yet, but I'm really excited about what's in the pipeline. So it looks like the portfolio is about to become really exciting here. You know, all the gaps are being filled from what I can see.
Yeah.
What's your favorite project that you've worked on in new product development?
It's a very complicated question because I like more the way I work than the product for which I work. It's the let's say the intellectual challenge that I like. These things. So I like the complexity. So probably the non-alcoholic beer, even if it's not my preferred product.
Yeah, you like the proper beer.
It's very challenging and very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, it's probably one that I like the most.
Yeah. I
started as well when I was in Bath on non-alcoholic beer. This was one of my first projects to develop the Jupiler and the Stella Artois NA at the time.
Yeah.
So apparently it's something for me. I don't know why.
Yeah. Very good.
Anyway.
So look, there's a huge portfolio of Fermentis products. There's a huge range of new products coming through. We have them all available from Geterbrewed for the brewers that watch. So we pop the links below and you can read some more about those. But Philippe, thank you so much for your time today. And
thank you too.
We're looking forward to seeing what's coming in the future.
Excellent.